was a dark and stormy night, nor'easter rolling in. It's a long 12 hours, the power's out again. I pray for inner strength and that we don't lose no lives. Just another day in the first responders' eyes. Half a cup of coffee's gone, the first run comes in. A car slid off the road, there's a family trapped within. My heart beats like a hammer, I can barely catch my breath. I'm thinking the worst and hoping for the best. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. And now my shift is finally over, I gotta deal with what's mine and try to find a way to leave those tragedies behind. So I hug my 2 children, I kiss on my wife. Just another day, the first responder's life. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone. Flashing lights fill the air, broken bodies everywhere. Another bad dream is stealing my sleep. 'Cause we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. And it's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this hurting when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on. When those sirens are gone, it keeps going on. When those sirens are gone.
Hey, welcome to the. Well, we gotta wait for Sam to kick on here. Hey, welcome to the award-winning 99% the Mad Radio Show. Sam, are you there or are you frozen? I think Sam is frozen. Welcome to the Mad Radio Show. We are. Oh, you're all good? Oh, no, you're frozen. I think those FBI fans outside your house are really causing some turbulence within your domain, man. But we are all about healing our heroes and making sure that everybody is in a perfect mindset. So I want to welcome you to the Mad Radio Show. We're going to dedicate tonight's show to those 13 military heroes who were fallen during a terrorist attack at the airport this week. We want to send our prayers out to the Gold Star families. Our hearts are with you. As first responders and military, we are all intertwined, and we want to share our hearts with you. We are there for you. Sam, I think, just got cut off a little bit. I don't even think she can bring our guest on yet, but I'm just gonna roll right into it. And you know what? The military, the FBI vans and the Biden vans are probably all swarming Sam's house right now because she probably said some bad things about our president or our VP about all the stuff that's been going on this week. But as a true American patriot, our first responders and our military, you know, see what's going on in this country, and we can't help to say to ourselves, WTF, you know, how is this all happening? How are we allowing 20 years later, why haven't we learned anything on terrorist attacks? Why haven't we been able to be proactive and save our heroes from these vicious assaults? And you know, I hate to get political, but we're turning a weak nation because our leadership has failed us in ways that they shouldn't fail us. They should be standing up for us. They should be fighting for us. They should be growing a pair of balls to be able to turn around and cross the lines. We should not let terrorists draw lines in the sand. We should be the ones that making the rules. We should be the ones dictating the times and dictating how we will do things. We should never be told how we should respond or how we should take care of our military and our first responders. I think Sam's back. Hey, Sam, you there?
I am there. Sorry, we've got obviously a very our network is just being overloaded right now. So my sincere apologies.
No, you're good. Listen, I'm just glad I didn't see a SWAT team behind you trying to pull you out. You know,
well, you know, we did have a pre-show conversation.
Yeah, you know, and I don't know if you heard it, Sam. I dedicated this while you were frozen or being detained, the CIA or the NSA or any of those deep state people. I dedicated today's show to the 13 fallen members from our military service, and our heart went out to the Gold Star families. You know, me and Sam, you know all too well, you know, losing people in a terrorist attack. You know, you never get over it. You never completely heal. And that's why I want everybody to remember to keep these families in your prayers, be beside them. Don't tell them it's time to get over it. You know, if it's 10 years, if it's 20 years, if it's never, you just help them heal day by day, second by second. Just be there, hold their hand, and be a supportive network for them, because our mindsets, those families' mindsets will change. And we have to be there to support them, no matter what they are feeling or how they feel or where they go. We gotta be beside them. We gotta stand beside them, just like their family members stood beside us and stood beside this nation and died for our freedoms and died for those people they were evacuating. So that's kind of how I brought it in, Sam. I know we had the little network.
Yeah, it's you know, what makes it worse is it was all unavoidable. But, you know, this show is not all together political, but I got my camo hat on and my blue shirt. So, yes.
And I'm going commando. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, we have got a super.
Had to throw it out there.
Yeah, super exciting show, because speaking of crossover, there's a lot going on. You want to tell us about our guest?
You know, our guest, and from the pre-show and what we were discussing, has really accomplished a lot over the last two years, especially during the pandemic. He publishes an online magazine called The Blues Magazine, the Blues PD Magazine, and he went from 0 subscribers to well over 30 to 40,000 subscribers, and more than that, read his papers. His publication is about over 150 pages of very insightful stories and laws and issues that plague our law enforcement throughout our nation. I've read so much of his magazine. I love it. He really highlights on what our nation's law enforcement do, and he really captures what our police officers and our first responders feel during their tour. So you want to bring him on? I want to welcome Michael Barron. How are you, Michael?
I'm
Hey,
doing
Mike.
great. I'm doing great. I know you guys' first choice tonight was to probably have Joe Biden on, but
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
do
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
best
Oh yeah,
if I
he's
can
high up.
to
He's high
He
up
couldn't
on
come
the
out
list.
fill in for him. Yes, I know he was busy at the
Yeah.
watch shop.
It's past his bedtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I saw him at the mall. He was
Oops,
at the
did I
fix
say
store.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna
He-
freeze again. Meanwhile, while the CIA, which by the way, they were at my house a while ago looking for you. So
Hey, that may be. Did you check it? Did you check it if it wasn't bugged? You
it
know.
had one.
Yeah.
I took it out of the back. It had a little
Yeah.
wire in the back of it, but.
But hey, as we're talking, just to let everybody know, thank you for joining us. The comment stream is open, so please feel free to ask questions, make comments.
Mike, let's just jump right into it, man. You retired from law enforcement, and you gave law enforcement something that they were missing throughout our nation, because every department has their little magazines that they share within the department. But you really brought this thing national, actually probably global. Tell us a little bit about from your retirement to the magazine.
Well, actually, the magazine started in 1984, and unfortunately,
Oh, wow.
one of the co-founders of the magazine passed away last week from COVID, and so it was kind of a sad news that he wasn't with us anymore. And this was really his idea. He had just got promoted. We were both working for the Harris County Sheriff's Department, and he had just got promoted. And the existing sheriff, we met with him, and he was, oh man, this is a great idea. Well, it was a great idea until January rolled around and the new sheriff took over. He didn't really like it. And so it was, I think for about the first 6 months, it was kind of tenuous as to whether or not we were going to keep doing it. And finally, one day, the captain called me in his office, said, the sheriff called and he wants to see you. And I went, you mean like downtown? He goes, yes. And I went, okay. And he goes, hey, and take Gutierrez with you. And I went, okay. So we get in the car, we're driving down there, and he goes, man, I got your back. No matter what happens, I'm with you, bro. I got your back. So we get down there, and the sheriff's like, I don't like that newspaper anymore, and y'all got to stop doing it. And I was like, well, I don't think you can really tell me that.
Wow.
And he goes, well, let me put it to you another way. And then he stops. He says, you know what? I can't do anything to Baron Gutierrez because he's a low-life deputy. I'm like, you just call me a low-life? He goes, yes. But he's a sergeant, and I can demote you and put you back into jail. And I said, and he goes, I said, well, you can't tell me not to do it. I have constitutional rights. He goes, I don't really care about your rights. You work for me, and when you work for me, you're going to do what the hell I tell you to do. I said, you know what? I think I need to call my attorney. Fine. Why don't you just go wait outside, call your attorney, and Gutierrez, you can go. And he looks at Gutierrez and he goes, I expected more. And he goes, I'm really not a part of this. I was like a consultant. I'm like an intern at best. And I was looking at him and I went, what? So we walked outside and I went, an intern? You're like, what?
He had your back.
A non-paid volunteer? This was your idea. He goes, man, I can't be involved in this. My wife will kill me if I get back to the jail and I'm not a sergeant anymore. So that's history with the magazine was very short. It was his idea to do it. So I did it for about 10 years. I went to Galveston and then I started flying for the Sheriff's Department. It was like, there's no way I can do this magazine and fly and do everything else that I'm doing. So the editor that I had at the time had just retired from HPD and he took over. And so I was kind of like a guest editor, but I let him run it. And for 25 years, he ran the magazine. And
Wow.
It was just in Houston, just in Texas, was a very small, like 16 to 24 pages. It was really just about what was going on at the Sheriff's Department at HPD. And then I found out in 2019 that 2018 had been their last printed issue. They just got out of the business. And couldn't get a hold of him. I had heard through the grapevine that he had passed away and his family didn't want to do the magazine anymore. So we brought it back as a digital magazine and all just online, no printed copies. And we did that in December of 2019. And the first issue, we had about maybe 10,000 people sign up. And of course, we got hit with COVID in March. But by midsummer, we had about 20,000 subscribers. By the end of the year, it was up to like 30. Today, we have almost 37,000 subscribers. Every law enforcement official in the state of Texas is a free subscriber. And we are on 125, I believe, police websites, social media sites. And in July, we had 75,000 readers. And this month, we're up to about 55,000. So
Wow.
going from nothing in December of 2019, nearly 2 years later, we're at 75,000. And
That's incredible.
those are literally people from all over the United States. We found out today that the Chiefs of Police Conference in New Orleans was, no surprise, had been canceled. And so we contacted with a website called USA Cops. They're going to provide us with a mailing list, or somehow we're getting a mailing list of all of the police chiefs and departments in the United States. And we're going to add those to our list. That'll be about another 30,000. And so we're going to reach out to everyone that was at that conference and basically say, hey, we know you can't go to the conference, but the magazine will do its best to reach out to everyone that would have been there. And so this may be our opportunity. We actually go nationwide as opposed to the local. Well, we're pretty much regional, I guess, in the state of Texas, but maybe we'll launch out as to a nationwide magazine.
Well, it's what I love.
We started out and in the very beginning is like a 24-page tabloid newspaper. And this issue, as I just looked at, we're 155 pages for this month. So definitely grown. And Sam's not the only one that'll probably have Secret Service knocking on our door, because I'm pretty sure when this issue goes out and what we had to say about Biden,
It's
hopefully my editor has bond money ready for me and come bail me out. So
well, the thing
anyway,
I love.
that's a little bit about the Blues. We have a little bit of something for everybody. With that many pages, you really don't expect everybody to read everything in the magazine, but we put so much in it that there's hopefully something for everybody.
Well, as long as they read the
and you just
mad radio aspect of it, we're good.
But it's funny that the older cops, well, I like the printed one. Yeah, well, and the younger, I'm going to say, the 35 and below, well, everything you read is on your phone. Nobody's going to pick up a magazine and read it. They're going to read it on their phone. And I think that's why it's grown so fast, is because of the digital format that we have. And there's so many things you can do with digital that you couldn't do with a magazine. We have so much live content, and literally advertisers can change their ad every day if they want, because it's all digital.
Right.
And stories, we can update them, as well as our help wanted section. People have told me that more people have got their job from the Blues and switched from one department to another than any other source in the state of Texas. And so we are updating that help wanted section throughout the month. As TCLO updates their site, we update ours. So if you're looking for a new job, we have this month, I think we're up to like 40 listings and ads, and there's over 190 listings in TCLO this month for departments that need police officers. So,
well, and, Mike, 155 pages. Just got to introduce my wife real quick. She wanted to meet you.
I don't hear her.
Hi, how are you? I don't want to bother you guys talk. I just wanted to see you.
155 pages of magazine. Tell us some of the interesting articles that are featured in the Blues PD.
Well, this month we have news from, and I'm looking at the layout. We have news from all around the state. One of the things I think that people read the most each month is our war stories. We have an aftermath section and a war story section. an interesting note, that to plug myself, but if this was Fox News, I'd have my book in the background. But I do have a deal working with Amazon to put together 37 years of war stories from the Blues.
Wow.
So I don't know when that's going to come out, but it will have all of them in it. But every month, and I contribute to some of those war stories, although I don't put my name to all of them. But if you've read them, I mean, it goes from funny to just horrible. And I mean, that's a law enforcement career right there. It's just,
Right.
The day in the life is like, some days it's funny and some days it's not. And so I think that's probably, being digital, we can actually see what pages are read, how long people stay on them. And those are probably two of the most widely read parts of the magazine. That and the editorials. We have kind of a contest between Rex and I to see who reads my editorials or theirs and how long they spend on them. Maybe this month I might get a little more read now that I'm slamming Biden. I basically said, we try not to get political. And when Rex read that, he said, "Was that trying to be funny?" And I was like, "Not really. Why was it?" And he goes, "You're political every month. Your whole bloodstream is political." And I went, "Well, I try not to be. I mean, but this whole country and everybody's in a divide. You got mask, no mask, vaxxers, no vaxxers, Democrat, Republican. I'm for Biden. I'm for Trump. And
gluten, no gluten. What the hell?
See?
Vegan, carnivore.
Yeah. So, you try to be neutral, but what fun is that?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, okay, so you have fun, and yes, I mean, there's so much. The politics is mixed into law enforcement. It's just an unfortunate circumstances started with this whole defund the police mess. Never should have happened. The politics and law enforcement should never mix. And as John and I have said on this show, you as a law enforcement officer do not take orders from politicians. It comes from your chief. I don't know about the former Harris County sheriff because he's supposed to be upholding our constitutional rights, but whatever. The thing I love is that from soup to nuts, no matter what you're looking for as a law enforcement officer, you will find something in the 100+ pages every month that appeals to you. And from equipment to, like I said, the politics, to how to deal with stress, which, we're so blessed that you allow John and I to contribute from a badge of honor to write articles in each month, and to practitioners. So it is a 100%. It's almost like I think of the snowball, that you get, and it is just jam packed with everything you could want to know as an officer or an officer's family member.
And if we were still a printed magazine, we could never do that. I went the other day just to see how much it would cost to print 150 pages for $80,000. Yeah, it was like almost $90,000.
Wow.
And I could just tell you for a fact, we do not have $90,000 worth of advertisers. So, but so you just really, there with a digital magazine, there's just so much you can do, and I just think it's the way. I mean, obviously, it's the way of the future because there are hardly any newspapers left anymore. I like magazines myself. I love automobile magazines, racing magazines, because you got that feel in your hand. But at the same time, if they told me that it was going to be, $100 subscription a year, I go, I'm just going to read that online. So,
and the one thing, when you say that, we are going into the digital era, and when we look at the guys that are 40 plus, they're like, oh, digital, I'd rather have the magazine. But you know what? You're a different type of digital because when you click on your website, you make it so easy to turn pages. It's almost like reading
on the arrow.
Yeah. And you get that you have that feel of as the pages turn, and
right.
The way you set up the whole layout really makes it very easy for anybody who's even technically challenged to.
Well, let me tell you what we're going to have here in 2 or 3 months. So the rookie officers have decided that, hey, why don't you guys have an app? And I go, what do you mean an app? All you got to do is just click on the link. Yeah, but you have to go to one thing and go to something else and then click on the link. If you had an app, you just click on the app and then it would bring it up. And I went, really? You want me to come up with an app so you can save 2 steps? And he said, hey, 2 steps is 2 steps. And I went, whatever. So we're coming up with an app. So
Wow.
you can actually just bring up the Blues app on your phone, and as soon as it launches, you're right in the magazine. But this format that we have, our main hosting site is called Yumpu, and they're the ones that came up with that flipping to make it so that regardless of whatever instrument you're using, whether it's your phone or an iPad or computer, whatever, it creates an environment for you for that device. So it's pretty technical. I don't really know how they do it, but it's the only one that works that way.
But it's so cool because like on your phone, you just take your phone, you start, and just like swiping pictures,
Yeah.
it just turns the pages, and it's just like anything else. Even on an iPad, it's just like one of those read books.
Well, and what they do is, so we create an intelligent PDF and they convert the PDF into their own format. And so by doing that, because, if you ever looked at a PDF on your phone, you have to enlarge it and move it all around in order to read it. This converts that into their own technology that allows you to do all that.
Right.
And it took a while to find that. If you go and look at the Blues from the early 2000s, they were all just PDFs that were just placed on a website, and they're very hard to read. I mean, they're there, but and who knows what the next wave of technology is going to be? But the younger officers love it. I mean,
yeah. So let's 2 questions. First, when you come out with the app, is it like you're going to subscribe to it so it helps you defer the costs?
No, it's going to be free.
Oh wow!
The subscription's free. The app's free. Actually, we already have the app written. I believe it's finished, and they're just waiting on Apple to approve it. Apple, you try to go with Apple and all the other formats. Yeah, Google and Android, all that at the same time. And
nice.
then once it's approved by all of those, then they go live with it.
Okay. And then second, who has been with the magazine the longest? Because you have a lot of partners, you have a lot of contributors.
I'm going to say advertisers have to be Alan Helpman and River Oaks. They started in the River Oaks, Chrysler, and Central Police Supply both started in the 3rd issue in 1984.
I was a customer at Central Police Supply.
There you go. And in fact, Ray that started it, his daughter is now running the place.
Wow.
And I told her, I said, and God bless her dad, he passed away 2 or 3 years ago. But you talk about a demanding guy. He goes, now, I know you decided to start this newspaper, so maybe you should stop by the store today and we'll talk about, some good points of what you should do. And I went, so now you're a newspaper editor? And he goes, I'm a lot of things, Baron. You need to just come on by and I'll help you out. And we did his ad, and then he was the first one to run a color ad. And he said, now, I got a specific color you have to use for our policemen. And I said, it's blue and red. And he goes, nope, it's a certain color blue and a certain color red. And I went, okay, Ray. And so we got him right. He went down to the publisher with me when they were printing it. And he goes, I need to look at your color pastel. And I was like, wow. Pastel? I think it's palette.
Palette, yeah.
He goes, well, pastel, palette. You know what I'm talking about. And I went, The guy looked at me and I was like, don't even ask. And he's been in there ever since. So those are 2 of the oldest.
How you do it like any other publication, quarter page, half page, full page, right? On advertising?
We do. And, we started out in 2020 when the first one we really started charging for ads. And our price then was a whole lot more than it is now, because the whole thing with COVID is that I've been involved in a number of businesses, and I've owned 2 or 3 dozen of my own businesses. if I was a business owner right now and not knowing what this COVID is going to bring to us in this year or next year, you've got to watch your marketing dollars to make sure that you've got money to keep the door open. So we readjusted our rates and really cut them in half from what they were originally. Theoretically, with the amount of readers that we have right now, we could double or triple what we're charging. But again, having been an entrepreneur myself, I can't see that we're going to be able to do that for folks because you just don't know what the economy is going to bring with COVID. And
Right.
so it's very affordable. I mean, you can get a full page ad for like $600. So
Oh, wow.
for $600 for an ad to reach 70,000 people, all of them police officers or first responders, there's nothing in the United States that comes anywhere close to that.
No.
Some
Right.
of our competitors charge $44,000 a page, and for 4,000 you get like 20, 30,000 readers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
People don't realize how expensive advertising is, but they also don't understand the return you get by advertising.
right.
You know, with your subscription and your analyticals, you know, $600 turns into so much more money over time from people, you know, seeing your ad and you know it's time over time over time. So I know when we do advertising and people go, $400, I didn't get nothing. You advertise 1 month.
Yeah.
You know, what do you expect? You got to do it for a year to see a real good return. It's an investment on return. So people, you know, it's like any other thing. You know, we all remember the Folgers commercial. Why? They didn't just play that Folgers commercial once.
Right.
That's how it's in our head because they played it over and over and over again, and they got their investment back. And that's how you know, when you advertise your business, that's how you have to look at it. So when you advertise with Blues Magazine, you got to go for a year subscription. You know, get the full year in there, and this way people will know who you are. You'll see a return the next year. It's not. It's not
That's very true. Anybody in marketing will tell you.
Yeah.
Do they have gallery furniture ads in Dallas? No.
Not sure.
No.
The
Not that I
guy
remember.
started on late night TV, and now he's the largest furniture store in the United States. And I can tell you his address and his phone number because I've
Great.
seen like 5,000 ads a month of his.
Is he the one? Is he the one in
McIngvale?
Houston that opened up the doors and let everybody sleep there in
Yep.
his gallery?
As a matter of fact, he just did it this weekend. I drove
Yes.
by there, and he's got a giant sign outside that said, Louisiana residents sleep here free.
Yep. And
And,
you know, and it's not because of his advertising. We didn't see his advertising here in DFW, but I remember seeing him on the news that
Yeah.
this place, the gallery, it's a furniture store, opened up the doors to all those people that were affected by the hurricane. And he just said, come on in. And he brought in food and water and let the people have shelter.
That's great.
Better than Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen shut the doors on people, and here a private business owner opens up his doors. God bless him at the gallery.
Yeah.
he
God
is-
bless him.
He is truly an institution in Houston.
Oh wow, but see, you know, people remember that. People
Yeah.
remember, you know, those things. It's those things when you give back to the community will always come back and return that favor one way or another. So, you know, basic humanity, basic love for the people that support you, you know, comes back tenfold. And a lot of businesses should take note from him.
Oh yeah, and ironically, when he started, I stopped him for speeding on his motorcycle on his first day, and I'm like, dude, where are you going? And he goes, I got to get to my first day. His first day doing what? It's my new business. And I said, what do you do? Sell furniture. Oh, and I said, he goes, I'm going to be the largest furniture store in the United States one day. And I went, well, okay then. You're not going to be anything if you keep going this fast on this little Honda motorcycle.
Right.
I let him go. I stopped somebody else. I went around the freeway, and there he's out there in front of some model homes with a old like U-Haul truck unloading furniture and putting it on the side of the road. And I'm like, Dude, I should have wrote you a ticket. And
Listen, you should have wrote a ticket for just riding a Honda.
yeah, well, he wound up being the largest, and so we've become pretty good friends since then. And it's I said, "Do you remember me?" And he goes, "Yeah, I remember you. You stopped me on my Honda motorcycle." I said, "I let you go." He goes, "You did." And I said, "And you said you would be the largest guy in America, and you're the largest furniture store in America." I said, "I don't know about your whole dressing up in a mattress, but you know."
But that's
he's a good guy.
that's drive and passion. God bless him, man. That when you have your goals set on something, you can accomplish anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too bad we don't have a president that has all the morals that he has. But,
let's transition
make
into.
sure I don't have to be anywhere.
Let's transition into this month. It is September 1st, big month for a lot of first responders all across the U.S. and the world, because we've kind of relocated and moved. You shared a sneak peek of the cover with us. Why don't you tell? And it is chock full. You are hitting it all, and I love it.
Yeah, this month we did a dedication to 911. We did. I think there's like 6 or 7 pages that list all of the officers that died, not only from responding at 9/11, but worked the pile afterwards and died from all the various cancers and diseases. It was horrible. I think the total, I don't know how many hundreds it is, but we listed all those and their pictures. We did, I have to look and see what, like I said, I apologize when you have 150 pages, hard to remember everything that we had, but
you have the border crisis.
We did a story on the border, and we actually changed from the very first cover. We actually went and changed it to add all of the soldiers that were killed last week. And in particular, I got a call from the sheriff in Riverside, California, about the soldier that was killed. And I don't know how much you know about the Lopez family, but the soldier, Corporal Hunter, his dad is a captain with the Riverside Sheriff's Department, and his mom is a deputy. And he was actually a explorer, and he had already signed up for the academy and went for this tour in Afghanistan. And when he returned, he was going to go through the academy. And so we changed the cover and put him on the cover and did a whole story about him and his family and how you can donate. And then also we recognized all the other soldiers that, had lost their lives. And I said, as well as all the police officers. And then we did something this month that we haven't been able to do in the past that we started doing is each month we recognize everybody who's been killed in the line of duty for that month. The one thing we haven't done is featured anything on officers that have died because of COVID, because there's so many of them. But this month, we actually did a photograph of every officer that died as a result of COVID. And unfortunately,
that's over 400, right? That was over 400. Looking at the Officer Down Memorial page, there was over 400 plus officers, I think it was, right?
I don't know if that was last year. Is that what it's up to this year? It's a lot.
There was a lot of officers.
It's a lot. I mean, it was in the 400 last year, and it's got to be 200 or 300. I can tell you that it took 1, 2. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 10 on a page, and we're already up to like 5 pages of them. And we're going to start doing this every month. But what I was going to say, the sad thing is that I have to update it every day, every single day. Wow. There's another one to put on it.
So I gotta ask. I mean, when you're putting together a publication of this scale and you're in that, I don't know any way to call it, but unfortunate death and line of duty. How do you take care of yourself?
It's a funk. I mean, not only are you these you can say you're just putting the photos and you try not to get attached with them. The ones that are actually killed in the line of duty, we don't have all the information. So we have to contact the family. And a lot of times the family contacts us. And so every month, it's not just 1 or 2. It's like 10 to 20 a month. And I told Rex, I said, I'm going to have to sign up for therapy for this. I mean, it's horrible but you feel like you owe it to them. You don't want to do anything less from one than you do for the other, because it's like, these are their loved ones that they lost. And this is maybe the only place that anybody's going to honor them. And you've got to do a good job at it. And so, in addition to that, we have an article that's submitted to us every month by COPS, Concerns of Police Survivors. And that's family members that are actually writing about the loss of their loved one in their own words, and they submit it to us. And then you got to go through that and read that. And then they call them and say, is this good? Should I add this? And it's just like, these people are having to relive this again, and you're doing it with them. So
vicarious trauma.
Yeah. So it's, it takes a toll. But then, as we were talking about before the show, I started watching this special on National Geographic, and everything that people had to go through on 9/11 as a first responder. And I there's nothing compared to that. I mean, this is cakewalk compared to that. I mean, it's horrible, but it's nothing like those people had to endure that day. So I can't imagine what it's like to be there, and have to go through that and relive that. And certainly this being the 20th anniversary, I'm pretty sure if I'd have been there that day, I wouldn't be watching this special. I mean, there's no way.
Yeah, well, that's John and I definitely don't need to revisit that. And we just are so grateful to you and everybody that works at Blues PD Mag that you chose to include, our memories and
well, we appreciate y'all taking the time to send it to us.
Yeah, and we have a police officer mentioned the COVID deaths for 2020, 241, and so far in 2021, 126. So not quite as high.
I think the overall total for officers killed last year was in the 300 or 400 range. For everybody
but COVID. These are the COVID numbers. Yeah.
And those are the ones that are reported. Actually, a lot of underreporting is happening. Maybe not so much with COVID, but like when we talk about suicide, there's a lot of suicides that go unreported because of the stigma. And I think we're up to about 90, 94, 95. When we look at what our officers are being put through, not only through COVID, through the emotional trauma, between COVID and the emotional trauma, we surpass the line of duty deaths from gunshots.
Yeah.
And a gunshot, those are unpreventable, man. That's the COVID, the suicides. These are preventable deaths that if the departments took the proper steps, we could save these lives.
And let me tell you what the real sad thing is I was talking to somebody yesterday, won't mention any names, I don't want to get them in trouble, but in Harris County alone, over 25 officers have lost their lives because of COVID, and their departments would not include them as line of duty deaths. Sad.
That's not right.
No, they don't get benefits. The family gets nothing. They don't get their retirement. They don't get anything. And
that is not right.
These people are working 24/7. There's no way you're going to tell me they didn't get COVID somehow, some way, from wearing that badge and doing their job. But their departments, whether it's the department heads or it's their, their county or city or whatever, and their HR department said, we're not doing that.
Well, they may not afford for them. It could be the insurance that they're going through, because like in New York, we had to fight so long for the heart bill, before they would say a heart attack was a line of duty death or a disability. So it was a long fight. Even, the unions fought for it. Everybody fought for it. This could be the same thing. There's, it may not be the department. Maybe, I don't know. But it could be whoever their insurance carrier is saying, hey, we're not going to pay this out because there's no proof. Just like suicide,
Well,
the emotional trauma on suicide should be a line of duty death.
Except COVID is on all the certificates. So
Right.
died
Yeah,
with,
that's
died
the
by.
sad part is that people are dying and they say it's COVID. I mean, I know a lady in Clear Lake. She had COVID. She was recovering. She was going back to the hospital to get final treatment or whatever. She stepped out in front of a bus. Needless to say, she died. They listed it as her cause of death, COVID. And I'm like, I don't think she died of COVID. I'm pretty sure she died of blunt trauma from getting hit by the bus. But I was told she was walking across the street to go back to the hospital. Now, I'm not going to just throw the hospital under the bus, no pun intended. But somebody got some money out of that because they listed her as having COVID. So
Absolutely.
You have on one hand people who obviously, maybe she had COVID when she died, but that was not why she died.
The cause of
Right.
death.
The cause of death was not COVID. It was definitely blunt trauma from that bus because I showed up right after it happened and there was no doubt that it was blunt trauma. But on the other hand, you have officers that are on the street that are, obviously exposed to hundreds of people every day. And, a couple of these officers, they didn't have families. They were single. Now, maybe their brothers or sisters or family or whatever may have given them COVID. But I would probably speculate that 99% of the time they were getting it from work. And
Interactions. Yeah, for sure.
So definitely not fair that you have officers that should be getting the benefits that aren't. And then, some poor lady crosses the street and her family says, oh, yeah, it's really sad that your mom died of COVID.
And they're like, what? Yeah.
I don't think that's what happened. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So in terms of how does anybody listening get on your mailing list?
Go to bluespdmag.com. It's BLUESPDmag.com. It's on the screen. And there is a subscribe here button at the top. And you just simply fill out the form and you'll be added to the list. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Blues Police Magazine or Blues PD Mag on Facebook. And at the top, it says subscribe and you can subscribe that way. So either way, you can sign up. Or if even if you don't subscribe, you can go to our Facebook page each month or any of our social media sites that we have. Just Google Blues PD Mag or Blues Police Magazine. And there's a link to that month's issue every month. As soon as the web application is done and the phone app, when those get done, then you can get the app and then it'll automatically be on the app every month.
Yeah, that would be great. That's going to be fantastic.
And we do keep every issue alive. So, and in fact, they're updated. We go in and do updates to even the older magazines. So you can go back and read any of them since December of 2019.
Oh, wow.
And they do that on somewhat of a regular basis because we get the update on a weekly basis of how many people read each issue. And you'd be surprised how many people go back and they read this month's and then they go back and read the other months. So,
well, it's intriguing. You do have there's so many interesting stories within the magazine, and like Sam said, there is something for virtually everybody in that magazine. No matter if you're a rookie or if you're just a salty old guy ready to retire, there is something for you in that magazine. From war stories to benefit packages to pensions to I mean
mental wellness.
Mental wellness. You've really cornered the market in the magazine to help out all our law enforcement throughout the country. So
well, and one thing I will say is that I know you guys have listeners, especially in the Dallas and Fort Worth. We need more people to share with us what's going on in their departments. I think that even though we have that many readers, and a lot of them are in Texas. You'd be surprised how many of the younger officers at some of these departments, they never heard of it.
Wow.
What's the
Okay.
blues? And so I think if we had more readers, from all around the state as well as the country, share with us whatever's going on at your department. I mean, if you feel like you want to do a column every month, that's the great thing about digital. It doesn't cost anything to add pages.
Right.
I mean, you could do 500 if you wanted to. So we never say no to anybody. If you want to put something in, regardless of what it is, we'll put it in.
Well, that's fantastic. I love that you're continually opening your doors, and John and I will people watch the replay. Hey, if you're with a PD and you've got a hot topic, or you do training on mental wellness and resiliency, and you want to get this in the mag, reach out to Mike, and he'll make it happen. Like I said, anything that a police officer would find interesting, from equipment to war stories to feel-good stories to how to get support, confidential or within the department, it is a must. I'm going to say it. It's a must read for every police officer. It absolutely is. It opens your mind, expands the thought around things, brings forth creativity, and helps people ask more questions, which is what it's all about in the end. So, Mike, we want to thank you for coming on tonight. And each week, we're in a tough time. I mean, it is every time we think we're going to turn the corner and things are going to get better, something else happens. What would you like to say to all of our men and women, not only in law enforcement, because we have a lot of veterans out there, to active duty and veterans?
Hey, before you go, Mike, there was a comment, and this makes a lot of sense. Megan Cruz just came on. A lot of law enforcement aren't on Facebook because of their job titles. So a lot of them do go onto YouTube. Is there a way that, or another social platform, media platform that law enforcement go on? 'Cause, a lot of law enforcement aren't on Facebook or Instagram, some of those where they were able to view it. What are some other, like another platform?
I really can't answer that, but I tell you what I will do is, if somebody will email us and tell us, hey, why aren't you on this platform? Well, we would be on it.
Okay.
Awesome.
So if they know of what are they on? I mean, what do they do?
Right.
She's saying TikTok.
Sorry.
On Facebook. I don't know. There's a lot of crazy cops.
Yeah.
They're doing the let's step
Dance?
on some crates.
Yeah.
They're doing the
If you're
crates.
going to do a dance, yeah. But yeah, TikTok scares me.
Listen, guys.
I wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if things are tough, one, don't stand on crates and try to do a TikTok video, because you're outside your realm there. That's just, you're going to wind up in an emergency room with another first responder trying to fix you up. And then, knowing all of our luck, that while you're at the hospital getting sewed up from stepping on the crates, you get COVID. So
Hey,
my
let me tell you
recommendation
something.
would be is stay away from the crates. But
True story about the crates.
Yeah.
Story about the crates. And every New York City cop who's listening will know about the crates. Our crate challenge was trying to find a crate to shove in the back seat of our patrol car to keep our seat up, because all the seats in our patrol cars were broken. If you look at every NYPD car back in the 90s, it had a milk crate behind it, keeping it up.
I didn't
True
know
story.
that. So there's a story right there. So if you're law enforcement and you're having a really tough day, thank God you don't work for NYPD and you got a milk crate in the back seat. So, I mean, you learn something new every day.
So true.
But I mean, I know things are tough for everybody. It's just watching the news is horrible. I mean, best thing to do is not watch the news. But, I think that you guys have a platform for everybody to vent and be able to find answers to their problems. And if they can't, then all of us have some type of contact information, whether it's phone numbers or emails or whatever. You you always should reach out to somebody else, because no matter how bad you think you have it, trust me, there's somebody else that has it much worse than you do. And I think that that's just the way that you have to go day to day, is to think that, man, things really suck. But as much as they suck for you, trust me, they suck worse for somebody else.
Yep.
And,
Wow.
I think that there's always somebody that's willing to help any of us. You just got to ask.
Amen. Amen to that. So folks, this has been awesome hour with Mike. Again, go to bluespdmag.com. You don't have to get on social media. bluespdmag.com. Subscribe. It's absolutely free. The magazine is delivered right to your email, so you can just click on links and access it, and it is well worth your time and well worth the reads. Just fantastic work. Mike, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to September's issue, which comes out when?
We don't have much time left, but it comes out next week, next Wednesday.
All right.
It'll be out next Wednesday, right after Labor Day, maybe Tuesday, but we'll email you guys a link and y'all can put it up on your sites. And
That's for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome.
And,
You guys.
please, with everything that you're working in, take care of yourself and be safe out there.
We'll come see you guys in Dallas real soon.
Absolutely.
Well, it's funny you say that, Mike. If you're not doing anything September 11th and you feel like traveling out here,
I was supposed to be on an airplane on September 11th, but I thought that probably wasn't such a good idea, thanks to Billy Bob Biden. But I might drive. What do you got going on September 11th?
we are reading the names. We are reading the names of all our fallen at Heroes Bridge that you said you were going to come and walk.
Yes.
I'm opening up an invite to you to join us and read the names with us on September 11th. I'll email you all the details.
That's next Saturday, right? Not this
a week
Saturday,
from a week from this Saturday. Yeah.
Yep. I'll email all your details.
Send me the details. I will definitely try to make that.
All
I
right.
won't
All
fly, but
All right. Thank you,
all right,
Mike.
guys. Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Take care,
Have a
Mike.
good one.
Bye-bye.
Wow, awesome show. I can't, we can't say enough about this publication. It just gives you the ability to just broaden your horizons, to stretch as an officer and just be better as a human. And speaking of being better as a human, support for the men and women in our uniformed services, whether it's police, fire, EMS, all of our first responders, or military. We've got a lot of veterans with crossover. You can do it, and it's super easy. Because remember, a badge of honor, we're a 501c3, woohoo, and you can go on to a badgeofhonor.com, click on the top, which is Mad Radio donate. Every penny goes into producing this show and programming our workshops. That's what we do for our first responders, as well as we will be starting first responder family workshops coming up here in the new year. So a badgeofhonor.com. It's super we made it super easy. Just click on donate right there. And speaking of clicking on things, if you're part of our Facebook family, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in each week there. If you wouldn't mind jumping over to our YouTube channel, which is really easy, you go to youtube.com and there's a search bar at the top and you type in Mad Radio Texas and you'll see me and John. Just go ahead and click on that. Subscribe, doesn't cost you anything. And then if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much for tuning in each week there. Jump on over to the Facebook and you'll get us on at Making a Difference TX, or you can just search Mad Radio again. You'll know because you'll see a picture of me and John. And to all of our first responders, all of our law enforcement, all of our Secret Service agents, everybody who serves here in the United States domestically to protect us here at home. We do this for you. You are not alone. If you are feeling the stress, please reach out. badgeofhonor.com. We are here for you. 24/7. You can get us. Our phone numbers are right on there.
Yep.
For all of our veterans and our active duty, boy, words are difficult because this didn't have to happen. And from John and I, our hearts go out to all of our Gold Star families. We're thinking about your kiddos and your moms, your dads, your aunts, uncles. It's a mess. This should never have happened. We stand on that line with you. Even though we're two old retired folks, we stand on that line with you. And God bless you guys. John, take us home.
Well, Sam, I think you said it pretty much. You said everything. From day one, from 20 years ago to today, me and Sam made a promise. We didn't know each other back then, but we worked together on the same pile, and we made a promise to never forget. And we're keeping our promise. And all we ask is you keep your promise too. Never forget. Never forget the men and women who died on September 11th, 20 years ago. Never forget our heroes who die each and every day protecting us. And never forget those 13 fallen military families that were protecting our freedom. So until next week, God bless. Stay kind. Just be humane to each other. That's it.
Night, everybody.
Night.